Week 14. It is the final week of the regular season, guys. Frankie and I are going to get you into the playoffs. Let's get in there. Let's go. All right. Welcome to the show. This is the Frankly Fantasy Football Podcast. We are your hosts, Frankie and Johnny. Frankie, we are rolling right into the final week of the regular season in most fantasy leagues. Some of you guys do some weird shit, I know that. But this is week 14, guys. This is it. I know there's some log jams in the middle of your leagues here. You're looking at points for, you're looking at tiebreakers. It's all about this week, guys. And then if you're kicking ass, it's all about seeding as well, Frankie. Have you ever been in a league, let me ask you this, to where week 14 rolls around, your position is already solidified in the playoffs, and you end up throwing your week 14 to change your seeding? Maybe you want to be on the opposite bracket as the dominating team. Have you ever done that, man?
Yes, as long as I am not in competition for points for. So there's two different rooms of thought, guys. If you get paid out on points for, got to be careful. But if you're also looking at the seeding aspect, like if you don't want to play, like I'm thinking about our 14-man league, Tyler's got this team that's just juggernaut-esque. I mean, depth all the way through. And so if I want to be on the opposite end of that bracket, so in that particular case, absolutely, man. And guys, it's strategy. Like that is first and foremost, you're not throwing anything because of like your collusion or anything like that. Focus on you, be selfish, and put yourself in the right position to win.
Now, if you're losing on purpose to fuck somebody else,
that's different.
That's kind of a dick move.
That's different.
I don't know about that one, how I feel about that. But if you're concerned about your own seeding, totally legit and legal in a fantasy league. Yeah, it's going to turn a lot of heads, and it's a ballsy thing to do, but it's cool. If you're the 3 seed and you don't want to be there, you can lose a game and be the 4 seed, be on the other bracket. Sure, absolutely possible. Love it, man. Love it. What a crazy week this past week. How you looking, man? Are you fighting for the playoffs? Are you guaranteed? What's going on? How you feeling?
4 leagues, 4 opportunities for the playoff. I'm locked in 2. I'm fighting for my life in the other 2, man. And here's the deal. I'm in both, and I'm playing some really, lower end echelon teams this week. So knock on wood, I have an opportunity, man, to go back to the playoffs. Last year we were 4 for 5. This year I have an opportunity to be 4 for 4. So let's go. How about you, man? How you feeling?
There's no better feeling than controlling your own destiny in week 14. You know? You don't need help. You just need to win your goddamn game.
Win.
Focus on this week. That's right. I've been talking to my guys. I've got a league like that. I'm getting them riled up. I'm getting them going. I'm getting motivating speeches. Dan Campbell motivating speeches.
Velociraptor eggs.
That's right. Well, I'm feeding them those. Every morning I'm feeding my guys that. Hell yeah, baby. One league, I'm the 2 seed, which is fantastic.
Amazing.
Yeah, I win this week and I win the division, win a little bit of money, go in as the 2 seed, feeling good. That's a big 14-team league. We've got a super flex league that
super fun league. That's what we should call it. I am playing
the guy, and the winner between the 2 of us gets the final seed in the play. Let's go, baby. I love it. Yeah. And unfortunately, I've got Jackson Dart on a bye, which, by the way, Jackson Dart, come here, bud. I got a secret for you. Run out of bounds, motherfucker. What are you doing, dude?
What? I mean, he's going to die. Like, I get that that's how you play the game. But,
stop it.
This isn't Ole Miss playing,
you're going to get killed.
Dude, these are grown, huge men flying at you. These aren't 18, 19, 20-year-olds. Like, you know what I mean?
He got rocked on that sideline, and I needed him to win, And I'm just like, dude, take it easy. Relax. What are you doing, man?
Crazy.
Oh, my God. Looks like he's trying to play the role of Cam Scattaboo is what he's doing. Hey,
literally.
There's a little problem here. Cam Scattaboo's like 225 pounds. Okay, yes. Jackson. So take it easy with your 190 frame, okay, or 185. Yeah, let's go. All right, man, we don't want to spend too much time talking about this past week because it's week 14, okay? We got work to do this week, man. It's time to get down to business. All right, Frankie, first of all, what we have to do before we get going here into the injuries, into next week, we've got to look at our champion check-in here. Let's check in real quick, okay? Every 4 weeks we do this. We just finished week 13. Let's check it out and see where we are here with our champions. My champions, I had Bo Nix. He's the number 7 quarterback. Frankie's Dak Prescott is the number 4 quarterback. All right, we'll take top 10 QBs in our champions. Let's go. Running backs, I had Josh Jacobs. He's at number 9. He's still in the top 10. Let's go. Jonathan Taylor. Look at you predicting just that stud season of Jonathan Taylor as your champion.
John, you can attest to this. When we pick these champions, guys, go back and look. It's the champion episode before the first game even starts. Okay, so, right, where maybe, and I think, John, we even did it before a lot of the drafting happens as well. So, guys, we're not just cherry picking shit here. These were picked before the league starts.
Good disclaimer there, Frankie. I appreciate that. All right, wide receivers. I had rookie Teteroa McMillan at the 8. Wide receiver 8 right now. He's making a big comeback here at the end of the season. Yours was Drake London, still holding on to that number 7.
Baby. Hold on.
He's not going to be there after this week, but he's still there, and he'll be a top 10 at the end of the regular season, I think. Yeah. Tight ends, nailed that, baby. Another rookie with Tyler Warren was my champion. He's the number 3 tight end. And, hey, we had to miss one. Frankie.
We had to miss one.
You know, if you're going to miss one, miss a tight end. You had Evan Ingram. He's the 27th tight end out there right now. He's missed some time. So we'll put an excuse on that one.
Hell of a job.
Hell of a job. All top 10s except for one in our champions, Frankie. I think it's the best year we've ever had, to be honest.
Oh, you mean like last year with Trevor Lawrence? Yeah, I'll never forget that shit.
Yeah. We've had a couple of good ones here, man, over the years. All right, let's get into it here, man. Let's look at the leaders right now, okay? We haven't talked about this, so as we're coming into the last week of the season here, let's just take a look at the top 7 of each position. All right, Frank, let's look at the quarterbacks here, man. Talk to me about the top 7 top QBs here in a half PPR, and throw some out here as something that catches your eye.
Yeah, totally. So, guys, number 1 right here is Josh Allen. Right now, he has about 300 total points so far on the year. Guys, no surprise there. I'm even going to throw in Patrick Mahomes at number 2. Is also not that much of a surprise. 292 points. I'll tell you what is surprising, though, is actually the point differential, though, between the two, John. For me, I would have thought Josh Allen, 400-point type of year, something along those lines, certainly could get there, no question about it, with the time left. But I thought 8 points differential there is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Here, though, is the one that I'm really shocked at. It's Matt Stafford holding on at number 3 with 290 points. Guys, we're talking he's 10 points off of Josh Allen at this point in time. We know that he has been in the hunt for that of the MVP. So, guys, really, really awesome job knowing where you probably had to draft him, or maybe you didn't even draft him, you picked him up, and now he's number 3 quarterback. Here's also another pretty cool one. Dak Prescott, man, we talked about it. 288 points, my champion. Looking really good with the addition of George Pickens, completely unlocked out of Dak. And then number 5, Drake May, 272 fantasy points. John, we were high on him coming off of that rookie season last year, what we saw. And then bleeding into this year, did I think he was going to be a top 5? No, I'll be honest with you. I didn't. Did I think he was going to be top 12? Yes. But top 5, that's incredible.
Yeah, it is.
And then you got Jalen Hurts with 265, man. And Bo Nix, as you mentioned, your guy with 252 total fantasy points.
Pretty interesting. I mean, these quarterbacks, it is a logjam. There's not a huge drop-off between these guys. So these standings will change over the next week. No question about it, man. But I love it. What about some running backs here? I mean, we know who the top couple are here, but throw out some running backs and talk about some surprises on this list.
Totally, guys. So again, looking at the lens through half PPR here. So Jonathan Taylor won with 294 fantasy points. CMC with 289. Now in full PPR, these guys actually flip-flop. So then CMC becomes 1, JT 2. But what's fascinating is there's actually a teardrop from these two then to number 3, which is Jahmyr Gibbs, 261 total fantasy points. So you're going from JT, 294, and CMC, 289 to 261. That's a pretty solid teardrop. And then from there, John, it's even a bigger teardrop.
Yeah.
You're then looking at Bijan Robinson, still great, 4th overall, but 238 fantasy points.
Right. I mean, he's 60 points behind CMC and JT.
That's a ton. I mean, you
60.
think
That's a couple games.
A couple games.
A couple of great games.
3 20-point games. You know what I mean? Crazy, man.
Yeah, man.
And then you got Achane, which, dude, you called it out. He could break fantasy this year, which he's not breaking fantasy, but he's breaking into the top 5. I can tell you that with 237 fantasy points.
1 point behind Bijan, by the way.
One.
So Achane could make a run for that top 3.
Totally. Very much so. Then you got James Cook, man, 224 total fantasy points. And then another large teardrop. It goes then to Javonte Williams, who, running back 7 on the year, 183 fantasy points. What's fascinating here, Johnny, is that when you look at this list, the pass catchers are dominating. And so when you think JT is kind of in a standalone category just because of sheer volume, but then the next one that's actually not doing a lot of pass catching is Javonte. And you look at 183 points. The rest of them, CMC, Gibbs, Bijan, Achane. I'm even going to throw James Cook in the mix as of late. He's been getting into the passing game quite heavily. So what this tells me, man, and it's pretty much consensus across the board, guys, when you're drafting, be looking for the upside of the double, getting the receiving yards as well as those rushing attack yards.
That's a really good point. Let's look at that for a second. Let's look at targets here, okay, for running backs. I mean, a great season, you want running backs in order to crack that top 10, you want them to be like 30, 40 reception or targets,
Totally.
Yeah. And that's pretty standard there. Christian McCaffrey has 107 targets, Frank, after 13 weeks.
That's crazy.
With 85 receptions. That's nuts. The number 2 running back, Jonathan Taylor, or number 1, however you want to look at it here, in a half PPR, 40 targets. I mean, CMC has 60 more targets.
That's crazy.
Than Jonathan Taylor. Absolutely nuts. 59 targets for Jahmyr Gibbs, 68 for Bijan, 72 for Devon Achane.
How about that?
So to get into that top 5, unless you're Jonathan Taylor or a Saquon Barkley, there's always the one true workhorse running back that gets in. Everyone else, you need 50, 60, 70 targets in order to even sniff that top 5. James Cook at number 6, 29 targets. I mean, think about the difference.
I mean, that's 29 targets to 107, you said, for CMC. I mean, just thinking about the difference. Holy shit.
Absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Just had to point that out. All right, let's look at some wide receivers here. Definitely not what we ranked in the beginning of the season during draft season here. Maybe 2, 3 guys we thought would be in the top 7. Talk about the receivers, man.
Guys, first off, the first 2 are complete shockers to me. I mean, complete. This is half PPR. Number 1, JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Guys, he's not just, I mean, John, you nailed it. It's domination at this point in time. 229 total fantasy points in half PPR as a top receiver. That's crazy, guys. George Pickens. Number 2. He's the number 2 on his team. Yeah, we can fight about this. If you want to go 1A, 1B, or you think CeeDee Lamb's number 2, I'll fight you to the death on that. CeeDee Lamb's the number 1 on that. George Pickens number 2, but it doesn't matter. George Pickens is balling this year. 206 fantasy points in FPPR. And then there's a teardrop. Guys, it is those guys. And then it's a teardrop to Puka Nacua at 185, rounding out the top 3. Now, this is where it gets interesting because it's Amon-Ra St. Brown, 184 fantasy points at number 4. Devontae Adams, 181 fantasy points at 5. Pause there. Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams are separated by 4 fantasy points.
Yeah.
Okay? To think that you have 2 of those guys on your team with Stafford is just mind-blowing from the Rams standpoint. I mean, truly incredible.
So can Stafford support 2 receivers? The answer is clearly yes. He can support 2 top 7 receivers. How about that?
And honestly, John, you could make the argument 2 top 5. You know what I mean? Which is even crazy.
You really could.
So then you got number 6 guys with Jamar Chase. Obviously, that would have changed had he not been suspended for spitting on somebody. Okay, we talked about that. And then number 7, Drake London. Again, just as a call out, Drake London, before he got hurt, he was trending as the number 2 receiver in the allotted amount of a 5-week window prior to that injury happening. So Drake London was on fire. So he's still sitting at number 7. But really, dude, honestly, for me, the biggest call out is JSN, George Pickens, and Matt Stafford being able to handle 2 top 5 receivers.
Absolutely. And Drake London would be top 5.
Definitely.
The fact that he's still holding on to top 7 after missing some games, yeah, he would have been top 5. No question about it, man. All right, let's roll through the tight ends here, Frankie. What do we have to talk about with the tight ends? Or should I just say tight end? Is that really how
Singular tight
Yeah.
end. Oh, you mean Brock Bowers? It's got to be, right? It's got to be Laporta,
Sam
probably
Laporta?
Tucker Kraft.
Travis Kelce.
It is Trey McBride. This is now, we're looking at this through the lens of full PPR because it's a little wonky with half PPR. Let's just look at this through full PPR. 249 fantasy points. Guys, to put this in perspective, he would be the number 4 running back. He would be the number 1 receiver. He is the number 1 tight end, and then it's not even close. Guys, we're talking a 60-plus point differential between him and number 2 being Travis Kelce. And then from Travis Kelce, right, we talked about Tyler Warren. He's sitting at number 3 with 173 fantasy points. And then you look at number 4 being Jake Ferguson, Turd Ferguson. We've been really high on him. Pause there. Think about that. We got Dak at number 4. You got CeeDee Lamb still floating around that top 12. And then you have George Pickens at number 2, and your tight end is number 4. That offense is rolling with Javonte Williams at number 7, right? Crazy. Brock Bowers, 156, rounding out the top 5. And then you have Hunter Henry, 153, and Juwan Johnson, number 7 at 141. So what this tells me, man, if you hit Trey McBride, you're loving it. If you drafted Kelce, Warren, Ferguson, Bowers, you're happy. And then Hunter Henry and Juwan Johnson, you probably picked them up off the waiver and you're ecstatic. So really cool shit.
So if we're looking at a half-point PPR, Frank, I'm looking at the stats here from Fantasy Pros right now. All right, half-point PPR, Trey McBride has 179 fantasy points. Now, when we look at
you brought that up.
When we look at the receiver list here, he's 1 point above Devontae Adams.
That's
And
crazy.
1 point below both Puka and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Trey McBride is fighting to be the number 3 overall receiver in fantasy football. That's
crazy.
Fucking bananas. Yeah.
And we're talking half PPR to half PPR at that point, correct, John?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's
Apples to
crazy.
apples comparison, man. That's exactly where he is. Just to put it into perspective there with receivers. Absolutely crazy. Yeah. Love that, man. All right. What about, give me a little, I don't like kickers. Okay.
I know.
I
we
don't
go through
like
this every
kickers.
year.
I know. And I'm like, Frank, let's just delete the kickers and make the episode fucking 10 minutes shorter. You know what I mean? All right, but we're going to do it. But before we go to the kickers, let me make fun of one, please.
Please.
Younghoe Koo on Monday Night Football. Okay. Do you think we're getting out of this episode without making fun of that dude? What in the app? All right, so everyone, I know you guys saw it, but on Monday night, he goes to kick a field goal, and his foot got stuck in the dirt as he was winding up coming down to kick it. It was the funniest shit I've ever.
Kicking foot.
And it just stuck.
Like the heel went in and didn't leave. Or the toe, I mean. The
toe.
toe went in and it didn't leave.
Is that what turf toe is? I never knew exactly what turf toe was.
There must be the turf monster grabbing him. That had to have been.
Dude got stuck in the grass, and the holder, some skinny little puke with long hair, probably has never hit a guy in his life on a football team. The holder picks it up and is like looking to throw. There's nobody around, and the defense just came and crushed him. It was so amazing. What an Younghoe Koo's been fired like twice this year.
Yeah.
Now he goes to this team, and on Monday night, when the game matters, his toe gets stuck in the fucking grass.
Stuck. I've never seen such a thing.
Congratulations, Younghoe Koo. I am 48 years old, and I have never fucking seen that. So thank you for giving me a new experience in my life. Love it, baby.
Go.
Okay, give me 2 minutes on kickers and defense, man.
Okay, guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to even go through the top 7 kickers, and I'm not going to go through the top 7 defenses. But I will list off just the one versus the one because I want to make a point. So the number 1 kicker right now is Myers, the kicker for Seattle Seahawks. He has 138 fantasy points. Okay, pause. When you look at then the defense, okay, the number 1 defense is actually Seattle, which is interesting, with 164 fantasy points. And then Houston's 157, New England's 143. The reason I'm listing that is because when we start thinking about drafts, it's crazy. We're just heading into playoffs, but I want us to remember this nugget. So many people wait until the very last round whatever it may be. But guys, to pick a kicker or a defense, guys, it's okay if you have 15 rounds and if it's round 13 and you don't want to wait for the last two, if you're able to get a Houston, if you're able to get a Seattle putting up 164 fantasy points or 157 fantasy points. So guys, what I'm saying is be thinking about this, target the defenses before you go after the kicker. That's the only point I wanted to make.
All right, let's get to the news, baby.
News and notes.
All right, let's go to Arizona here for the first bit of news. The Cardinals will not open Kyler Murray's 21-day practice window. So you're going to have Jacoby Brissett most likely throughout the playoffs here. Trey Benson, running back for the Cardinals, trying to play. He was coming off of IR, trying to play this Sunday. Monitor the practice reports. Would be super great to get him back.
Great.
Marvin Harrison Jr. returned after his appendectomy, and then he left again in the second half with a heel injury. No status as of yet for Marv, but with the playoff hopes lost, they may hold him out for the rest of the season. So just be prepared. Watch that. Frankie might give us some news on Fridays with Frankie this week as well. All right, let's go to the Vikings here. J.J. McCarthy expected to clear concussion protocol and start week 14. Cool.
Sweet.
Cool. How did Brock Rossmer do for you, man?
Max
yeah, whatever. It doesn't. Brock Massner, whatever his fucking name is.
Yeah, right. There you go. I'm. You know what? Well, I was wrong. I'll just state this very bluntly, guys, because when you asked me, Johnny, you were like, "Hey, Max Brosmer's coming in. It's a shit show. This is going to deplete Jeddah." I was on the other half of, well, it can't get worse than what J.J. McCarthy.
Your toxic positivity is just, yeah. You're like, it's a new quarterback. There's no tape on him. He may hyper-focus J.J. Hey, guess how hyper-focused J.J. was?
Tell me.
4 yards.
4 yards. 1.1, not even. Well, I think it ended up being 1.4 fantasy points in full PPR.
It depends. If it's a full PPR, you doubled your points.
There you go. There you go. Look at it on the bright side. Terrible. John, it was so bad that he was worse than J.J. McCarthy, which, again, I want to go back to this. If they spiked the ball every play, they still would have been better than what both of them have been the last few games.
Let's clarify this. Okay. Do you all understand what stat that just came out just now that Frankie said? If, according to passer rating for these quarterbacks, had they spiked the ball every fucking play, they would have had a higher passer rating.
Literally.
How is that possible? It's the turnovers. It's because they suck.
Yeah, totally. They suck. 4 interceptions. Holy shit. I mean, crazy, dude.
Oh, you remember when we talked about JJ being quarterback proof? Not anymore, man. 2025. Let's go.
Ryan, what's crazy is he was. I mean, for a minute.
He had been. Exactly, yeah.
JJ McCarthy, fucking Michigan, man. Ruined him. Piece of shit.
Unbelievable. All right, staying with the Vikings. Aaron Jones left the game with a shoulder injury, could miss week 14. Adam Thielen, this is how bad the team is. Adam Thielen begged for a release. I swear to God, I thought he went back to Minnesota just to retire. And now he's like, I don't want to retire on this team.
So they released him. Yep. And then he's like, yeah, I want to go play for a contender knowing this is my last year ever. He went back to Minnesota to retire with them and potentially play for a contender. And then he's like, nope, I'm out. I'll see ya.
He's like, you know what? I'm going to go retire on another team that I've never played on before. Fuck you guys. It's a good move. It's really cold up there right now. He'll probably go to Tampa or something.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go to New York here. Tyrone Tracy carted to the locker room with a leg injury. Brutal. Just happened on Monday night. Don't really have any information on that yet, but monitor that. Mike Evans, good news here potentially for the Mike Evans owners. He could return to practice this week. Now, I don't know if it's necessarily going to help you this week, but if you've got Mike Evans sitting in your IR and you're running in the playoffs here, he might be able to help you out, guys, in week 15, 16 potentially. Yeah. All right, Jayden Daniels. Frankie, I feel like he's been the bane of your existence here at the second half of the season, man. Guess what? Once again, and did I just forget to delete this over the past 2 weeks? I feel like it's just been in the news every week. Jayden Daniels is trying to play this week, guys, once again. Awesome. Learn from the past 2-3 weeks here, guys, and have a backup plan. Yes. Okay. Do not get screwed by Jayden Daniels at the end of the week. Frankie certainly will have news on him in Fridays with Frankie as well. All right. All right, Justin Herbert, guys, we got a huge game on Monday night. We're going to talk about it. Justin Herbert's going to be in that game. He suffered a fracture in his non-throwing hand. The son of a bitch had surgery on Monday, and he's trying to play this week. How about that? Let's go. Yeah, I love that, man. Staying in Los Angeles here, Amari Hampton. Let's go, baby. Expected back to play on Monday Night Football here. So Amari Hampton should get the start and bring you into your fantasy playoffs. Let's go. Alvin Kamara, running back for the Saints, trying to get on the field. Like I said, it didn't look good, but he's trying to get on the field in week 14. Monitor the practice reports there. Let's go to Detroit. Amon-Ra St. Brown, wide receiver for the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. Left the game in the first quarter, man. Really, really sucks. He's got a low ankle injury, low ankle sprain, and according to head coach Dan Campbell, will be out a week or two. So he's looking like he's going to miss Thursday Night Football this week. And potentially week 15. So keep an eye on that, but it looks like you're without him this week for sure. All right, Drake London missed the last 2 games with a PCL injury. He's trying to get on the field in week 14. But guys, watch this and make other plans, because with Penix out for the season, playoff hopes are gone. He could be not only a risky start, they may not play him at all. I don't know why you would risk your star receiver if it doesn't matter here. T. Higgins trying to clear concussion protocol this week and play. That would be huge. Might be the first time all year that, or at least since week 1, week 2, since the Cincinnati Bengals have been healthy. Could be very interesting for fantasy. Let's go. Dalton Kincaid, tight end for the Buffalo Bills, trying to get on the field this week after a hamstring injury. He's missed 3 games. This week they play Cincinnati. It's the worst team against the tight ends in the league. If Dalton Kincaid plays, guys, the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen needs him badly.
Big time.
He'll be super involved against Cincinnati. So smash start if he plays. Sam Darnold, quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, dealing with an ankle injury, but all things are showing that it should not hold him back in week 14. Jayden Reed, sitting on my IR in 3 leagues since week 2. Wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers has not yet been medically cleared, but they're going to wait to the end of the week, see where he is. He is practicing. Probably not likely for week 14, but looks like you could get him in your playoffs. And guys, this couldn't come at a better time.
No kidding.
This team needs a wide receiver 1 very badly. And I'd love to see Jayden Reed out there, man. Last bit of news here. Parker Washington, wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars, could miss some time with a hip injury, likely out for week 14. Football season is in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all of the action here. Playing Underdog is super easy, guys. Just pick whether your favorite players are going to go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, so much more. Get your picks right, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. Let's go. Frankie, do we have any picks for everybody this week?
All right, guys. This week on Underdog, we are looking at 2 different games and 2 different players. The first is Chase Brown, higher than 44.5 rushing yards at Buffalo. And then we're going to go to the Thursday night. We got Jahmyr Gibbs against that of the Dallas Cowboys, higher than 59.5 rushing yards as well. And by the way, we're on a 3 out of 4 win streak here, guys, so jump on board.
Let's go. Download the app today and sign up with promo code FRANKLY to score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code FRANKLY. Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And President and State where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing-to-terms_DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call 24/7-HOPE-LINE at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. All right, Frankie, let's look at the week ahead here. Week 14, let's go. Final week of the season. Let's do this. On bye. Thank you, NFL, for the Week 14 buys. We appreciate it. We've got the Patriots, the Giants, the Panthers, and the 49ers on bye. Yikes. That hurts, man. Let's put the number 1 running back in fantasy football on the season on a bye in Week 14 when you need him the most. That's fantastic. Yeah, appreciate that. All right, let's go, guys. Hey, first of all, let's talk about this Thursday night game. All right, we touched on it a tad.
Yeah.
Cowboys at Lions. Lions are favored by 3 at home. It's a 54.5 point over under. Frankie, let's go. What are we doing in this game? We've got no Amon-Ra St. Brown. We've got no Sam Laporta. What are we looking at as far as fantasy in this game, man?
Guys, Jahmyr Gibbs, we're going to start with the Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs, we should see an uptick in the receiving perspective as well, knowing Amon-Ra is down, knowing Sam Laporte is out, knowing Brock Wright's still hurt, the backup tight end. They're rolling with Ross Dwelly coming in here as their starting tight end. For me, man, I'm looking at two players on outside of Gibbs. It's going to be JMO, and it's going to be Tesla. And
Tesla.
Tesla.
Yeah, you're putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Okay, can you say it one more time?
Isaac Tesla.
Tesla.
Tesla. Just let it go and keep trailing. Tesla.
Tesla.
Yeah,
Okay. Tesla. He has 35 receiving yards last week with a touchdown. Look at him for a dark horse, especially in a DFS play.
They love him in the red zone.
They
man.
do.
Love that. Now, as far as everyone else is concerned in this game,
Fire mode.
I'm finding a way to start some of these guys. If you're in a 14-team league, you've got some major buys. Guys, start everybody in this game. Find Kevontae Turpin. Start his ass. He could score. Just look for anybody in this game. I think it's just going to be fantasy points to go around, man. I absolutely love it. Yeah. All right, let's talk about some players here, Frankie, this week and coming up in the playoffs to start thinking about playoff schedules, to pick up, to stash. These are guys, all right, listen, maybe you don't have a Josh Allen at your quarterback and it's not an easy decision every week. Maybe you've got 2 or 3 quarterbacks you're trying to start and trying to determine based on matchups. That's what we're going to talk about right now. Not your obvious guys, but some guys do have some pretty good matchups here in week 14 and through the playoffs that you can plug in. We're going to talk about a few guys that might help you out here. Frankie, let's start with some QBs here. What are some QB matchups going into the next 4 weeks that you're really digging?
Guys, first off, I have to give a shout out to that of Jacoby Brissett. He is somebody that you should seriously consider starting, and I'll tell you why. Since he has taken over for the starter, John, and that was in week 9, technically, after the bye week, he really came in. This is where they said, hey, we're going to shut down Kyler, that kind of stuff. Since that point, quarterback 10, quarterback 10, quarterback 4, quarterback 8, quarterback 9. He has only been a top 10 fantasy quarterback, even without Marvin Harrison Jr. So for me, guys, when we look at Jacoby Brissett, he has Washington this week, week 14, could be fabulous for you. And then when we get to the playoffs, it's Dallas, the Giants, and Detroit. Guys, this is gold. So if you have an opportunity, pick him up, stash him. He may be a great play for you from a playoff standpoint.
I do love that, man, especially after we saw what Drake May did to the Giants secondary.
Yes.
Made it look easy, man. Jacoby Brissett with, even if you're missing Marv, he's throwing to everybody. And then you've got Trey McBride. I mean, these are smash matchups for Trey McBride as well. Yeah. Who else, Frankie, as far as quarterback goes?
John, we're going to look at the Washington Commanders. So whether it is Jayden Daniels or Mariota, and I'm saying Mariota because, John, we talked about this last week. He is seriously fantasy viable, and this is what I mean. Over the last 3 weeks alone, guys, he was QB 13, QB 9, and QB 3 this past week. And when you look at who he's playing, it's at Minnesota, it's at the New York Giants, then you got the Eagles, and then Dallas to round it out. So if it's Jayden Daniels, you are so happy. If it's Mariota, you might have a decision on your hands. You might have to look at if they're playing the New York Giants in week 15 and say, hey, maybe there is an opportunity, and it's because of his rushing floor. So for me, guys, the Commanders quarterback, whoever it is going to be very fantasy relevant moving forward.
Now, if you make it to your Super Bowl, they play Dallas at home.
Yes.
Jayden Daniels in your Super Bowl could have a very, very fun game for you. Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else in quarterback, Frank?
Guys, there's really 2 others that I want to hit on. It's Brock Purdy. So obviously he has a bye week this week, but when you look at Tennessee, at Indy and Chicago, at Indy might be a little bit tough, but Tennessee and Chicago, you're eyeballing that all day and twice on Sunday. And then Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes has Jacksonville this week. He has Seattle next week. Again, that's a bit of a tough matchup. I understand. But then you have San Francisco and then Jacksonville again. Guys, really big opportunity for Danny Dimes to hit Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman Jr., and Tyler Warren multiple times.
All right, let's look at the running backs here. I love what you did here with the running backs, Frank, because these are not auto starts by any means. So these are guys you're definitely trying to choose for your RB2 between some of these guys. So let's talk about some running backs here that have some really nice schedules moving forward.
Guys, number 1 is TreVeyon Henderson. Yes, he is on bye this week. However, you have week 15 to start off your playoff. He's playing Buffalo. then at Baltimore, and then at the New York Jets. Guys, this is a phenomenal schedule, especially for a pass catching back. We're seeing him get involved with multiple receptions, multiple games in a row. So for me, man, love TreVeyon Henderson. He has seriously supplanted that of Ramondre Stevenson as the true starter for this team now.
Now, we did come out early in the season and say, watch TreVeyon Henderson sit on his ass because he is one of those league winner type backs. We got a lot of shit throughout the year. Everybody saying, hey, how's that TreVeyon Henderson prediction coming? Because he just didn't play, and every week we were freaking out. Guess what, guys? It takes 14 weeks sometimes to realize that you were right about something. And I'm going to say it, we were. Guys, TreVeyon Henderson could absolutely be a league winner this year based on the schedule, based on what he's been doing. It's awesome. It's absolutely been awesome. All right, what other running backs you eyeballing here, man?
So, guys, think about the Saints running backs. And I'm not saying Kamara because even Kamara might he's battling an injury. So even looking at Devin Neal, not a super sexy name, but a really sexy schedule. And so when you think about it, at Tampa Bay, week 14, love that. Carolina at home, New York Jets at home, and to round off your Super Bowl at Tennessee, guys, you're probably seeing a theme, right? When we're talking about the Jets, when we're talking about the Tennessee Titans, these are the teams that if your players are playing against, it gives you serious upside. So for me, you might be like, well, what did Devin Neal do? Well, this past week, guys, he had 82% snap share with that of Kamara out. He had 14 rushes for 47 yards, and he also had 3 targets for 3 receptions for 22 yards. And then you look at the game before that, he had 7 targets for 5 receptions for 43 yards. And he didn't do a ton on the ground, but he was efficient through the passing attack. So for me, if Kamara is playing, smash start. If it's Devin Neal, you might have to think about things. In a deeper league, there could be an opportunity that you need to plug him in.
Now, Devin Neal, sit on him and stash him. Because it's very unlikely you have to play Devin Neal.
Right.
And you're on a playoff team. Let's just go there. Let's put it that way. But if you've got him, think about week 16 and week 17. 16 at home against the Jets. Week 17. Do you have the balls to start Devin Neal in your Super Bowl at Tennessee? I think I do. I think I do. But keep them in mind, guys, because injuries are still going to happen. It's not like all of a sudden we all roll into the playoffs and, your playoffs, nobody's going to get hurt. They are. Stash Devin Neal because he's got an awesome 16 and 17 schedule.
Great call out, man. We're going to look at Quinshon Judkins as well. Yes, they're playing Tennessee this week. What a great matchup. It's getting cold in Cleveland. Snow's coming down. You know what they're going to rely on with a rookie quarterback. They're going to rely on a badass rookie running back. So, they have Tennessee. They're at Chicago. Great matchup from a running game. Then Buffalo and then Pittsburgh. Guys, this could be a great stretch for Quinshon, especially if the passing attack can kind of get a little bit warmer than what it is now. And then when we look at some of the other options, guys, I just wanted to throw out a few insurance options for running backs. First off, it's Tyler Allgeier. If you have an opportunity, go pick him up. He might be on the waivers still. If so, he already has 7 touchdowns on the year. God forbid something happens to Bijan. This dude skyrockets. I mean, skyrockets big time. So pick him up as a just in case. And a few others. Blake Corum, we saw him perform really well. And when Kyren Williams kind of got a little banged up, he came back. But they might rely on Blake Corum a little bit more to keep Kyren fresh for that playoff push. And then Brian Robinson Jr., just in case if you have an open bench spot and something, God forbid, happens to CMC, you have a surefire start with Brian Robb.
Great call. Blake Corum looked really good, man.
Really good.
I mean, he's got some standalone value. I can see him making a push here these next few weeks. You're right. Keeping Kyren Williams a little healthy for their playoffs. No question. All right, let's talk about some wide receivers here. What wide receivers are you eyeballing here, Frank?
Guys, there's really 3 groups, and I just want to call this out. So the first group is San Francisco 49ers, and I'm specifically looking at Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall. Yes, they have a bye this week, but as mentioned with Purdy, they have Tennessee, Indy, and Chicago. Guys, if it's good for Purdy, it's good for these guys. You may want to look at firing up those, especially Juwan Jennings. And then, John, it's really the Vikings receivers. I get it.
Absolutely.
It's disgusting.
You know what, Frank? No, we're done. I'm clicking the button right now. I'm turning off your video and your audio.
But listen, if McCarthy can come back and they can figure out some sort of quarterback play, I mean, just anything. Listen to their schedule. You have Washington this week. You are at Dallas the following week. You're at the New York Giants the week after, and then you're home against Detroit. That's a really good schedule. but it sucks because they have nobody to get them the ball. So it just is what it is. Great schedule. We'll see what happens. It sucks.
Yeah, well, the other thing is that's irrelevant because if you have any Vikings players, you're not in your playoffs, man.
Yeah, good point.
That's truth.
Good point.
All right, round us off here with the receivers.
Guys, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, bringing us in. I get that it's been brutal. A.J. Brown had a nice bounce-back week this past week, but here's their schedule. At Los Angeles Chargers, Monday night's going to be amazing. That's tough, but then it opens up. You're at Vegas at home, at Washington, and at Buffalo. Guys, this is great, and these guys need to play because they're all battling for that NFC East. So for me, man, this is big time. Yes, fire up these guys.
God, that schedule's so good.
So good.
Oh, it's so good, man. Enjoy your Eagles in the last 3 games in your playoffs. All right, throw out some tight ends for us here, man. Who's got some really good schedules?
So from guys that are like pretty much surefire starts, so there's 3 of them that I really want to call out. Number 1, Tyler Warren. We talked about a hell of a rookie season.
Let's go.
But when you look at what he's doing at Jacksonville this week, at Seattle, San Francisco, and then back with the Jags, guys, that is great for tight ends. Yeah, it might be tough for other situations like running backs, receivers, not for tight ends. That's phenomenal. The second is going to be Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, guys. And here's why. They play against Pittsburgh, which is a very good matchup for tight end. And then at Cincinnati, I mean, that's the best, literally, matchup for tight ends. Literally. Number 1. And then you're New England, which is going to be tough, but in Green Bay. But, man, those first few games are real nice. So Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, guys, could be fun starts. And then you have Jake Ferguson. We talked about Dallas. You want a piece, get a piece. It is at Detroit this week, Minnesota, the Chargers, Washington. Great across the board. Love these tight ends. Now,
Frankie, I want to build upon real quick. I want to touch upon the Isaiah Likely comment because I guarantee Isaiah Likely is sitting on all of your waivers. Mark Andrews has been healthy. He's been playing. Take a look. Isaiah Likely played Cincinnati last week. He had 5 catches on 6 targets for 95 yards.
That's awesome.
They play Cincinnati next week, guys. Sneaky start,
sneaky.
Okay? So, yeah, as Lamar's starting to get into his own, their defense is not very good. They are having to throw the ball a lot. Isaiah Likely could be a sneaky stash for you going into your playoffs here, guys. That Week 15 matchup specifically. So just keep that in mind. Sorry, Frank. Go ahead.
No, and then just 3 other John, great call out. And to add to the streamer call out, there's 3 others that we really want to be paying attention to. If Jawan Johnson is still on that waiver wire, I'm sure he's probably not, but if he is, please pick his ass up. He's a surefire start. Theo Johnson is well for the New York Giants as long as Jackson Dart is the quarterback. We saw a Jameis Winston. He was targeting the hell out of Wan'Dale Robinson and others from a receiver standpoint. Jackson Dart is a tight end freak, man. You look at what he was able to do this past week, and then you look at the schedule coming up. Yeah, bye week for this week, but then they have Washington, Minnesota, and then Vegas. Guys, this is great. So look at Theo Johnson as a super sneaky start. And then the last call out, Darren Waller. Guys, if he's on your waivers, pick his ass up. He came back and looked really good from injury, and then they're rolling into some really interesting teams. Guys, Darren Waller could be that sneaky play for you.
He could be. They're super focused on Achane and Waddle, and, Darren Waller could be the sneaky. Watch Darren Waller be the league winner this year.
That
Watch
would
him
be crazy.
Watch him end the season with 3 touchdowns and the Super Bowl for you. Totally could happen. I'll puke. That'll make me absolute puke. All right, guys, we're going to end here on a couple of things. Real quick, just some streaming options. We talked about some of these guys with great matchups, but a lot of you are streaming quarterbacks, tight ends, defenses as well. Look into the playoffs. Now's the week to do it. Get a week ahead. We always talk about being a week ahead in your waivers. Quarterbacks, just want to throw it out there. I know these quarterbacks are not fantastic, but Tua Tagovailoa at Pittsburgh versus Cincinnati and Tampa Bay. So that Cincinnati matchup is one that I'm eyeing really right there for Tua. You could, if you've got the balls, you could start Tua in Week 16.
And they're home.
At home. Cincinnati at home. Absolutely, yeah. Then you've got the Vikings. We talked about it. It's gross. I know it's gross, but at Dallas and at New York Giants, very nice schedule there. And then we talk about Danny Dimes, man. At Seattle, at home versus San Francisco, and then Jacksonville for your Super Bowl. Tight ends, Dolphins, Colts, Lions. Very interesting for tight ends, guys. So look at Tesla, You could look at Ross Dwelly. Brock Wright is the other tight end.
He ends up coming back, yeah.
If he ends up getting healthy here, at the Rams, at home versus Pittsburgh, at Minnesota, some nice ones there. Now, defense. This is where I really focus, guys, for the playoffs. Because you can see who's playing who. You know the matchups. You know if you're in the playoffs, you've got 15, 16, 17. Let's look at these. Defenses, Houston Texans. You've got week 15 against the Cardinals. Week 16 against the Raiders. So if you've got that Texans D, if they're sitting out there for some reason, guys, pick them up, play them in 15 and 16. It's beautiful. You've also got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Frankie. 15 against the Falcons, 16 at Panthers, 17 at Dolphins. Not a bad matchup, especially 15 and 16 there. I like that. And if you've got the balls here, guys, this one's big, big balls, okay? New Orleans Saints defense. I know they're not very good, but the matchups are beautiful. They got 15 with the Panthers, but 16 and 17, I love it. I've got the balls to start the Saints defense in week 16 versus the Jets at home and week 17 at the Titans. Great. I've got the balls for that, man. I'm picking up the Saints defense. Absolutely, I'm doing
those balls on the table.
Let's go. Let's go. I love it, baby. Frankie, what else do we have going on for everybody? That is the episode for the day.
Guys, we're dropping a huge waiver wire reel tonight. There will be a waiver wire because this one is going to be big. If you some of the streaming options that we mentioned are on there, pick them up. Think about the defenses. Think about the long-term plan. I will get you covered there. And then Fridays with Frankie. This may be the biggest Fridays with Frankie this week, guys, because it's setting you up for the playoff run. People are going to be thinking about it. Your opponents are going to be thinking about it. Your other league mates are going to be thinking about it. We're going to get you in the right position. Check it out. That's dropping Friday.
I love it. And you can find all of that on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. It's Frankly Fantasy Football. And please, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on YouTube with the video. It's going to tell you each and every week when our videos come out. We appreciate you guys. 30,000 of you tuned in last week. Hopefully we can give you some advice this week and you guys love this one. But man, week 14, get your goddamn playoffs. Let's go. We're going to help you get there. May the fantasy gods smile upon you. Bye.